How's everybody doing this evening? I don't know. He's all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. Let me give you a couple announcements before we get started. First of all, Serve NC. That is Saturday, and it is starting at.
We will be feeding breakfast at 8 and we will deploy by 9.
There you go. Feeding at 8, deployment by 9.
Is there anyone in here that's going to be there besides, I know Carol was, Mike was, who else we got there, where was? We have, we're going to be doing a laundromat ministry in which we're gonna go and we're gonna take, little, goodie bags for the children that may or may not be there, we have no idea. And we're gonna take coins, and they'll pay for individuals' laundry. And I need to get some tracts from you to put in the bags, actually, I just remembered that. And then we are going to be doing, a few people have signed up to go, and take some meals to the shuts and shut-ins. But I spoke to Dawn, so it depends on how many people we have going, as to how many shut-ins we will actually be seeing. We didn't have a really good turnout at our interest meeting. So it depends on how many folks we have get there. So those are the two things that we have lined up currently.
There you go. So come. 8 o'clock breakfast, 9 o'clock out serving. And then we're back in here afterwards. Sunday following, which will be next Sunday, we are going to have our Serve NC celebration service. So for the 5 people that show up on Saturday, the 50, we'll be praising the Lord for them and doing that. Yep. So come and be part of that. Luke wanted me to mention, because students are in here, Battle House is August the 5th. Laser tag, and it's $20 a person. He wants to know how many people are coming because there's waivers that have to be signed. If you haven't had a chance to do Battle House, you all guys, you've all done Battle House, right? Yeah. All right. You haven't yet? Oh, you need to go because you need to get shot. Anyway, the it's a blast. It's not your typical just laser tag. I mean, you're actually holding, ARs and stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna get the one that has the 1 shot, 1 kill. Just because that's what I like to do. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not a youth minister anymore. I can't say that. Let me back up. So yeah, Serve NC this Saturday. Following that we're having a wedding. Deb's not here, but Deb Sutherland's son Tyler's getting married that afternoon, and so there'll be a big to-do for that. And then the ladies' gathering on Monday, which is at 6 o'clock. Dinner and childcare. Do you know who's speaking for that? Melanie Ball. Okay, there you go. Where is she? Anyway. She's sick. Oh no. Yeah. I'm sorry. So yeah, pray for her, because wow. But so anyway, August 5th, 6 o'clock, ladies ministry. Silver Threads the next day, noon, sandwich trays, school time picnic, and I believe we'll have a special presentation for Mr. Jimmy Huggins, the gentleman who was here for Mr. Cornegie's 100th birthday, who presented him with an award, is coming for Silver Threads to present Mr. Jimmy an award for being a veteran. So come and be part of that. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Ride to Recovery, which is the August the 10th. That's from 10 to 2. We did this last year, and I mean, you don't know the sound of awesomeness until 125 motorcycles all start up at the same time and head down the road. Besides that, we'll have the registrations at 9. They take off, I think, around 10 o'clock. They go up the road to the Carolina, I'm looking for it, it's in there, Carolina Crossroads, and then they'll come back and we'll serve them lunch. So there's a lot of guys, a lot of Christian bike communities that are coming, and there's a lot of non-Christian bike communities that are coming, and it's a great opportunity to be out there sharing the gospel and helping out, and at least show people the love of Jesus with a hot dog. So come and be part of that. Discovery class is August the 18th. We've got, it says from 11:30 to 3:30. I've actually cut it back, so depending on how long the lunch goes, will depend on how long the actual class goes. But Jim Tyer's class has coordinated now with Discovery class so that they supply lunch for us, and then we go straight into class afterwards. So yeah, it's a good time. So if you want to come, let us know, and we'll make sure we have enough materials and books for us. Just let the office know so that we've got all that. A couple other things. One is youth camp for next year already. Can you believe it? Is August, I'm looking, good night. Luke, what are you doing to me?
25th.
Thank you. August the 25th. He's doing them for phone, and then he's like, it's for the phone. I'm like, can you blow it up? Anyway, that's why we send him on vacation. Anyway, so August the 25th, there'll be a meeting directly after the service for youth camp next year. He's got a couple of spots now already for Fuge at Ridgecrest, I believe. So if that's something you're interested in, folks, come, bring your parents or whoever, and make sure that you get all that information as he does that. I said this morning, but just so I say it again, because I want to make sure everybody got it. This is not my pitch for people to give, but this is if you do give online. We have changed our giving platform. We used to use Realm, and now we are using a company called Subsplash. So for those that want to give online, you're welcome to do that. All of the QR codes in the bulletin and online and on the screens have all changed. But if you go on there, it's going to look different than when you did before in the past. So don't let that throw you. It's still us. We just want to make sure that everybody's aware that when you give, it's that. So.
What's the percentage that they charge us?
So it was like 2.75 per transaction, and they told us it was less than that. That's all they've said. So they're, yep.
When you give, you have the option now to assume that transaction fee.
Yes,
So
that's
that
right.
the church doesn't have to pay.
So in the past, that transaction fee, that 2.75%, the church just kind of ate that, and we had a line item for that. Now, if you want to do, you can actually assume that fee as part of your giving. So you give $20, it'll say, do you want to pay the extra, whatever it is, transaction fee, and then the church doesn't pay that.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, because
that's,
I know we paid it
yeah.
before.
yeah, so that's an option. One last thing to share with you, we've got a bunch of missions events coming up. I know Carol and Mike are organizing November 2nd, our medical bus drive that's coming, and all of the people that we're gonna invite from the community come to that. There's one that's gonna happen in October that I had the opportunity to go talk to Dr. Plur about last week, and it will be from October 11th through the 13th. I don't even have graphics for it because it's still new, but from the 11th through the 13th, that whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's called the Global Missions Celebration. What we're going to do is we actually have a missionary that has been assigned to us from the International Mission Board that's kind of ours for the weekend that we're taking care of. I say ours, but they're actually staying at Angela's house. And so Rick and Angela's house. Thank you. Gosh, I always do that. You're right there, so tell him he'd show up, he'd get his name mentioned. They'll be staying at the Beecham's home, and it's all weekend long. So like the beginning part, they'll come. Everybody's meeting at Northside Church on Friday evening. There's a big banquet. Everybody's invited to if you want to come and meet the missionary and meet all the missionaries. There are 18 churches that are involved in this from the Cape Fear area. And so all of the missionaries will be there to set up. It'll be a big banquet and food and international food and all that kind of stuff. Saturday in the morning, there is a men's and boys breakfast at Ogden Baptist. So, any of the men and boys want to go, they're welcome to go, and our guy missionary will be there. And then in the afternoon at lunch, they're having the Lottie Moon Women and Girls Luncheon. That's up at Wrightsville Beach Baptist. So then all the ladies can go over there. And the guys, we're going to take our missionary out to lunch and do something with him there. That evening, the missionaries will be leading the underground church here at the church. You're not going to want to miss that. It is the whole no electricity, no lights, no sound system event that everybody comes in. We'll probably pack as many people as we can into a classroom and just have church. They'll lead a little bit of it, but we're just going to have church the way they do in third world countries where they're not allowed to have it. And then on Sunday, our missionary will be speaking here, and then it's actually, for us, it kind of timed out well. It's our homecoming. So missionaries will be speaking, we'll have dinner on the grounds. That evening, everybody gathers together at Calvary Baptist for the Global Missions Expo, and the Vice President of the International Mission Board is coming to speak and share, and then we ship everybody out. So it's a quick weekend, but it gives us the opportunity to meet these missionaries in person, which is something that's a little bit different than what International Mission Board has done in the past. We always have all the missionaries that are kind of vetting for finances and things like that to come and meet them and all that. International Mission Board missionaries are actually covered by the Southern Baptist Convention under the cooperative program, and so you don't really ever get a chance to meet them in person, or if you do, it's few and far between. And so this is a great opportunity not to meet just our folks that are coming, but to meet 18 different missionaries from around the world, some of which we're not even allowed to say their name because of where they're serving at. I can tell you this, I've got the information for who our missionaries are, and I won't tell you their names just because we're online, but these missionaries were handpicked by Dr. Klor for our church. And the reason why is because the missionaries right now, they're listed as emeritus, which, you know, he said you could think of it as retired, but you're never really retired as a missionary. They're back in the States right now because they have children that are of age that they need to be back in the States with children of age. And they said, but if you were to call them and to tell them to go, they'd on a plane in a heartbeat. I think they still go over to South Asia probably about 7 or 8 times a year. And so they are from the South Asia area. They served 21 years in India. And so right where we're targeting for our James and stuff like that, he showed me a number, and I'm going to get these mixed up, but the number he showed me was somewhere around 21,000. And there's a little over 21,000 churches that were planted in South Asia in 2022. And I mean, that's huge. If you think about just church planting in general. I'm sorry, it was 21,000 total for all of the International Mission Board churches, 21,000 churches. In South Asia, I think he said it was close to about 20,000 that were planted just in South Asia of the 21,000 churches that were planted. So, you know, do the math. It's about 9 out of every 10 churches were planted in South Asia because it's such a fertile ground and because it's such a need for. So when people hear numbers like that, they automatically go, oh, those numbers are inflated. You know, there's how much really validity is there to that? So they sent teams of people over there to go check these out. Not just from Southern Baptist. There's actually like 9 Marks, which is a big organization and stuff like that. They went over there to go check it out. And sure enough, there are 20,000 pretty deep churches that are over in South Asia. All of the churches, the 20,000 churches that were planted by the missionary couple that is coming to our church. Wow. Every one of them. I was a little floored by that when he told me that. He goes, yeah, you're going to want to spend some time with them. I was like, yeah, we're going to want to spend some time with them. So, yeah. They're currently a cluster leader in South Asia. I couldn't tell you what that means because there's all different kinds of labels and stuff like that. But and living now in North Carolina, so we're going to be grateful to have them come and be part of this and to be kind of ours for the weekend. There's lots of opportunities for not only just to meet them here, but there's a couple opportunities to take them out to dinner and just have specific one-on-ones with them and stuff like that while they're here. We're going to kind of use them. He said, use them to death. They'll rest when they get home. Okay. So
I'm assuming they would not be leaving till Monday.
I would
right?
think
Because if
not.
we're doing the thing at Calvary on
That's
Sunday
correct.
night.
Yeah, because they're 5-6 hours away.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would think not. But there's definitely opportunities for that. There's also some opportunities that we'll have to kind of, some of these people, I don't know about them, but some of these people have never seen the East Coast. And so there's going to be a lot of people going to the beach, some going downtown, and we'll have some things like that. These folks are about 60, 61 years old. So, Battle House probably, I don't know, but things like that. We'll put together some stuff as we go. Missions is going to meet next week, isn't it? Yeah. 8th, yeah, something like that. Not this week, next week, yeah. So we'll meet and we'll kind of look at all of that as we go and do all of that. That's what I've got for our announcements. That was a long time, I'm sorry. We're going to sing a little bit before we get started on prayer this evening, and I'll update you on some prayer requests. Let me pray for us before we get into our song service for the evening. Father, we thank you for the night. Lord, thank you to gather us here together to do this beginning follow-up for this Vacation Bible School. We've surrounded this thing with prayer, Lord. We started with just praying for the seats, and now we're praying for the names that filled those seats. And Lord, whatever you want us to do with them, we are at your will to be able to handle as many or as little as you think we can handle. And so our goal, Lord, is always for your kingdom and for your kingdom growth. Help us to do that and help us to have a great time this evening as we spend time in prayer, just praying through names of people that we might not even know. But Lord, you do. And you know each situation. And you know each opportunity that lies with them. And so we bring their names to your attention this evening for that purpose, that you can do what you need to through us. And we ask all this in Jesus' holy name. Amen. Let's stand together. We're going to sing a good old giddy song, "O Church Arise." Let's stand together and sing. "O church, arise, and put your armor on. Hear the call of Christ our captain. For now the weak can say that they are strong in the strength that God has given. With shield of faith and belt of truth, let's stand against the devil's lies. An army bold, whose battle cry is love, reaching out to those in darkness. Our call to war, to love the captive soul, but to rage against the captor, and with the sword that makes the wounded whole, we will fight with faith and valor. When faced with trials on every side, we know the outcome is secure, and Christ will have the price for which he died, an inheritance of nations. Arise, shine, for your light has come. Arise, grace for every hurdle, that we may run with faith to win the prize of a servant good and faithful, as saints of old still line the way, retelling triumphs of His grace. We hear the calls and hunger for the day when with Christ we stand in glory. Arise, shine, for your light has come. Arise, shine, for the risen sun. Lift your eyes, we are His radiant bride. Arise, O church, arise. Amen. Take a moment and greet each other this evening. Say thank you for coming. All right, before we get started with Vacation Bible School, let me just give you some names to pray for, other than those that we're going to be praying for this evening. First is, we still want to remember Blake, continued through his third round of chemo and a little bit of bumpy road. Is he doing any better? Okay, good. And so this week is his rest week, so to speak, and so hopefully he'll recover and hit it again the following week and keep doing that. He's got 9 more to go, so keep him in your prayers.
And you will get a PET scan on, I think it's the 21st of August.
21st of August, okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely be putting that on there. 21st PET scan. Got it. Also remember Fred Peck. He's recovering from his last round of chemo. He got his chemo and 2 days later he was up in Duke, had 5 different appointments up there just to set up bone marrow transfers and all of that kind of stuff. I believe he's waiting on results to come back to make sure that they're good to go. Lisa also mentioned to pray for them as they were looking for a place that they've got defined for 3 months. And so, because he literally has to be right there around the hospital during the procedure. So be in prayer for Fred as they continue going through this journey as well. Keep remembering Ada, she is waiting on the orthopedic surgeon to schedule her surgery, and so we'll find that out. That'd be wonderful to find out this week. Not holding my breath. There's a lot of moving parts that all have to be there in order for her to have that particular surgery. So we'll hopefully hear something, at least a date that they can put out there that we know what's coming. If you remember Lisa Alford, that's Jimmy and Susan Rooks' daughter. I mentioned this morning during the service, she was diagnosed with stage 4 very aggressive cancer, and that is untreatable. And so they hadn't given her very much time. I think it was 2 weeks. And so they're really trying to figure all that out and what that means. And so just continue to remember Lisa and her family, as well as, of course, Susan and Jimmy, who, if you remember them as well, Susan's mom passed away last week. I'm trying to remember which day it was. Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Tuesday. So yeah, and very peaceful. So it was she passed away at home, and so they're not doing any services or anything here. They're gonna have her cremated and then go to Missouri and have services in Missouri. So remember them as they make all the plans for that. We want to remember Mary Jo Tyre, who was sick this morning. Jim said that she wasn't doing great, and so he went home to be with her. I'm sure he's with her now. And then also Melanie, who's not feeling well as well. If we could remember also our Serve and See events, this is a huge opportunity for us to just get out in the community and to kind of be the hands and feet of Jesus to people, even if it's in a small way. But it's an opportunity to open up conversations, putting change in somebody's dryer or whatever it is. That gives us that chance to do that. So pray for that. Pray for good weather as well. That goes with that. And then we're also remembering for this month, this will be the last Sunday that we do this for this month, is the Khmer people, as well as the Turkish-speaking people. North Carolina Baptists send us these unreached people groups once a month, and so we get 2 a month. These are the 2 that we're praying for this month, and we're praying for a couple specific things. One is for churches that are in the areas of North Carolina where these people live, that they would adopt these people, similar to what we've done with the James, and that not only that, but they might be able to use this Serve and See as sort of an outreach to reach some of these folks, to prayer walk in communities and do all that kind of stuff to reach them. The percentages are extremely low for the numbers of believers within them. So it's less than 1% on some and just over 1% on others. So it gives us a great opportunity to pray for them, for the churches in those areas. And then for our Jane folks, I continue to pray for them, and I hope you do as well, to be able to not only reach them in South Asia, and it seems like God keeps connecting the dots for us, getting ready for us to go, which is awesome, as well as, and which means that I'm fully expecting the enemy to come in and kind of 2 steps forward and 3 steps back kind of routine, but that's part of it. As well as trying to find a church up in the Cary area, Raleigh area, RDU area, if you will, and that has that landing base that has adopted these folks that are up that area. I mentioned before, there's about 12,000 of them somewhere in that one Morrisville area, and so we're hoping that we can have that area to be able to go work with them and prayer walk and do. We may just go up there without having that, but we're hoping that we can have that landing pad, if you will, for those folks. And then also remember the various things that are coming up, not just Serve and See, but we've got an Appalachian backpack project that's coming up. You'll hear more about that in days to come, as well as the medical bus community ministry that we have, and then the Global Missions Celebration, Angel Tree, all of these things that give us an opportunity to sort of go out and to help people in need, as well as to share the gospel with them as we do. So there's a bunch of stuff that's coming to do all of that sort of thing. There was one other thing I was going to mention. What was it? Come on, help me. What was it?
Was it Jim Tyre's upcoming surgery?
No, I didn't even know about that.
Jim Tyre's having a scheduled gallbladder surgery. He said he should find out Tuesday.
Okay, that I didn't know. certainly, yeah. No, I had no idea. Had no idea. What's that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the Unity services that are coming up. Yeah, in August, we'll have official dates for if they ever could nail them down. But yeah, so Unity services will be up there. I think it's going to be 3 nights again. I believe we're going to actually be inside for all 3, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm, I'm not in the powers that be. I'm in the powers that get told. So yeah, keep them in your prayers. Pray for good weather either way. That'll keep people from coming or not. So yeah, all of that stuff. So is there anything else that we need to? Yeah, Carol.
Pray for Linda Richards
Oh.
and her husband as well.
Okay.
But Linda fell this past week and both of her hands they look really bad to me, but she says they're not.
Has she been? You know?
No, no, you know Linda Richards. But her husband's not doing well at all. He retired from his job. So that's what kept him going, wasn't it? Mm-hmm.
Please pray for Paul. He's still pretty miserable, pretty uncomfortable. Went through the surgery.
Okay. Yeah. So Paul Blanchard, he's recovering from surgery. He had shoulder surgery. Yeah. Yeah. All I have to do is say shoulder surgery, and everybody's, oh, yeah, that's pretty much it. So,
He's gonna have his other one done before Christmas.
bless him.
Bless, he'll just barely get done with this one.
Glutton for punishment. Anybody else that I need to mention? Chris.
I got a neighbor named Craig. He's waiting for a heart valve replacement, and he started hemorrhaging. Kidney's got a blood clot, and they sent him to Vernon. Said there wasn't nothing they could do here at Novant. They sent him to do, and I got a text from him in the middle of the service this morning, where I called him in the night last night, and he was dozed up and all out of it. But he did call me back this morning and said appreciate the prayers
feel about all this, Bryce?
Little scary.
Sure. Hmm. We will certainly be praying for him.
When
Any-
you had your accident, this church loved you from Vacation Bible School. We prayed night and day for you. So you just know that
Okay.
we got this. God's got this.
Yeah.
We were in Florida praying. We were on vacation.
Angela?
My dear friend Dawn, her husband Alan, has had an additional setback, actually unrelated, sort of related to the gallbladder, but the infection that they seeded down in his artificial knee. And it's caused, it's too much to even explain, a host of problems that he can't. He's passing out, it's causing all kinds of problems, not from pain, but from other things. So please pray for Alan. And then remember Mackenzie, hers is minor. She had just developed some horrific mouth ulcers and thrush and everything. And she's this big and she's lost 7 pounds in a week. And so she doesn't have 7 pounds to lose. But just pray that it gets better for her.
Hmm. When does Adri get back?
Tuesday night.
Okay.
Tuesday
That
night.
was something, there's a couple, Adrian and Lily, I know both went to Spain, and so they're, I'm guessing they're having a good time. I haven't heard anything different, but they'll be traveling, so remember them as they travel back home. Wow, okay. So here's what I'd like to do tonight. We've got, everybody hopefully got one of these ginormous lists. If you haven't, they're in the back, they're over here on the side. Miss Angela's going to grab a bunch and help me out. This is the full list of everybody who came or was registered, both. Who came. So this is the full list of everyone who showed up to Vacation Bible School. And I believe one side is our elementary and one side is preschool. So you may or may not recognize the names that are there. There's a couple of specific names that to highlight that are on this list just from some of the decision cards that were given. So if you want to remember them, Aurora Mercado was one. Lincoln Odom. And, come on.
Phoebe.
Thank you. Phoebe.
Phoebe Robinson.
Robinson. Those three, all three, is the cutest thing. All three of them came into my office asking about baptism. And so made sure that they were saved. All three are definitely saved. And all three, well, two of the three, their grandparents bring them to the church. And so I've already set up some dates with Lincoln. So she'll be baptized on one Sunday. Phoebe will be baptized on another Sunday. And then Aurora will be baptized on another Sunday. So we'll have three, right in a row. So be in prayer for them, not just for the baptism, but it's a huge event. I don't know how much, everybody's like, oh, baptism, it's a big special day. Well, it's actually the beginning of the rest of your walk with Jesus. So, it's a big special day, but that puts a lot of pressure on us as a church to be able to help these kids to grow. And specifically because they're not here every Sunday, because their grandparents bring them and it's only when they're here with them. So it gives us a great opportunity to not only get a foothold with them in their spiritual walk and disciple making, but also some parents that may or may not be spiritually mature or even saved. We're not sure. So keep those three definitely in your prayers. I know There were a couple that also were brought to our attention. Peyton Price was one who was asking a lot of questions about Jesus. And matter of fact, she's probably one of the only few people I know that left Luke speechless.
He literally, she asked a question and Luke's talking and he looks at me and goes,
Handle it, yeah, handle it. So yeah,
she should.
so yeah, we get the opportunity to lift her up. I know she was one. We had several parents that were here this morning that aren't regularly here, and some were here because I know that, like, there's a couple of different kids that are here that they go to different churches, which is fine. I'm grateful they're going somewhere and their parents came, but even with them, there's a lot of folks that, as they were walking out the back door, they were like, "Oh, we're definitely coming back." So that's always a good plus. Yeah.
Could you put a check mark by Sander
Oh, yes.
Timoneri?
Yeah.
Yes.
Name, he is, sort of like family.
Xander, I will. He's sort of like family.
And he may be, he really wants to come, but he needs a ride.
Well,
Where's he live?
he's got a ride if they'll just let him come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's right.
So the ride's taken care of, it's just a matter of.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if the ride was just taken care of, he'd come anyway.
Yeah, if they wake him up, but they didn't wake him up this morning.
Well,
I hope they're watching.
um,
He's a cool kid.
So we need to pray for that situation.
yes, yeah, and I can't tell you the number of kids that who's in that similar situation, you know.
Just love Jesus and want to come see Jesus
But-
and be with Jesus. And
Yeah,
They're at the mercy of
but they're at the mercy of their parents who don't necessarily have the same. Here's my theological impartation to you this evening. It was, and I've said this 100 times, if I've said it once, when I was continuing all of my doctoral work and finishing all that stuff up, which I'm still doing, just want to be in prayer for something. One of the adjunct professors who came in, he shared, he goes, it's a church growth saying, but it's one that is easy to remember, and he said it this way, he said, the cow follows the calf. And basically, if you can get kids plugged in, more than likely their parents will come and follow and then become part. So the more kids that we can get plugged in and growing and want to be here, their parents will eventually show up. And it still works, you know, that way. The other part of it, though, is we're finding now, statistically, more grandparents are bringing kids than ever before. Where it used to be, you know, students, children, whoever's coming, and then their parents eventually sort of show up. Now it's the parents don't ever show up, but the grandparents begin bringing kids. And, you know, so hopefully through one of those avenues, God will be able to work in the Holy Spirit in their lives to sort of move through and to be able to help them grow. So yeah,
Can you add a name to this?
yeah.
You see Joseph Porter and Jade Whaley. They have a sister, well, cousin to one of them, but Jocelyn Porter.
Jocelyn Porter.
Jocelyn, and she came the very last night and just sat in. She suffers from tremendous anxiety.
Uh-huh.
So it was almost miraculous that she left her mom's side and came to sit with me. Shannon was doing the session with us. So please pray for little Jocelyn. She's interested, but when I tell you it's crippling her, it's crippling her.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
next year
Will do.
she's showing me.
What I'd like to do for the last 10, 12 minutes that we have is, rather than me praying through a list and you listening, is to gather in groups and just pray for the list, whatever name is put on your heart to pray for specifically. If you want to go through the whole list, both sides, you're welcome to. We've got 15 minutes, 14 minutes left to go ahead and do that. But to lift these folks up, there are some on here, they're regulars here at the church. There are some, like I said, that are members somewhere else. But whatever the case may be, just to lift them up by name, so that the Lord has these names as we start following up with them. This is, I said we've surrounded this whole event with prayer. We started with praying for the pews, and now we can pray for the people that actually sat in them. And so it gives us something to leave in God's hands on what He wants to do for everybody. But it offers that opportunity to do that. So what I'd like to do is, you can gather in groups right where you're at. Just push together. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 15 people. Take the whole side, whatever you want to do. But go ahead and pray, and we're just going to leave with that. So when you're done praying, we're dismissed for the evening. But we want to lift these names up specifically by name to the Lord. So take some time and gather together in groups and go ahead and pray.